Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? Today is very conflicting emotionally. The New Orleans Saints won the game against Atlanta on Sunday in a win-or-go-home scenario. They improbably, despite starting an NFL record 58 different players this season, including 4 quarterbacks. You all know the rest of the story. You don't have Mike Thomas the entire season. You don't have Will Lutz the entire season. You use all these different kickers. You're displaced by Ida. You played a home game against Green Bay and Jacksonville. You know it all. Like COVID, you had 20 players out against Miami. You were without your head coach for a game. You all know the story. It's been a hell of a year for New Orleans. Almost to where the improbable became probable. The unbelievable became expected. That's what this season was for New Orleans. And in spite of all of that, they still managed to finish 9-8 on the season, above 500, in a win or go home, have to have it game against your rival on the road. The Saints went on the road against the Falcons and never trailed. Despite losing Taysom Hill in the second quarter in a 7-6 ball game, Trevor Siemian comes off the bench, boom, doesn't miss a beat, and the Saints roll to a 30-20 win against Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on Sunday. And while we're watching that game, we're looking up at the little score in the top corner of the Fox broadcast, and you see the Rams are up 17-0 on the 49ers, and you're thinking, hell yeah, today's going to be our day. And the Niners get a field goal before half. The Rams gag away the lead. We all know the rest of the story. They blow it in overtime, and the Saints season comes to an unfortunate end. A couple of thoughts on the game itself against Atlanta and kind of the bigger picture as well, which I'm sure most people are focusing on. The Saints defense was just awesome this year. And it's so discouraging that you wasted such a magnificent defensive performance. I mean, a team that was this solid defensively, that went to Tampa and didn't allow a point. In that scenario where you had to have it, you don't allow Atlanta to score a touchdown until the 2:49 mark of the third quarter. Matt Ryan, who threw for 341 in the first game, was held to 216 in this game. They were just phenomenal. And they were phenomenal again on Sunday. Cam Jordan, COVID was like activated his spidey sense. It's incredible. Maybe all that guy needed was a day off. Finishes with double-digit sacks, 12.5 sacks on the season for Cam Jordan. Deflected a few passes as well. So encouraging. Taysom Hill gets hurt. Trevor Siemian comes in a 7-6 ball game, doesn't miss a beat in the game. Throws a dime to Tre'Quan Smith for a touchdown. I'll be damned. Tre'Quan Smith even had himself a nice day. 5 catches for 76 yards in that score. He did have the penalty for ripping his helmet off, and I think we should excuse him because it's something that's literally never happened to him before, making an exceptional catch for a touchdown. So let's excuse him for not having been there before, for acting like he hadn't been there before, because he hadn't been there before. But even he made a nice play. Brett Maher shanks a 34-yarder in a dome, but still came back to have a nice day, and he really did stabilize that kicking position, which had been so erratic for the Saints for the first half of the season. Paulson Adebo, a SportsCenter top 10 play on the pick. How encouraging is he moving forward? When you came into the season not knowing who was going to start opposite Marshawn Lattimore, you came into the season not knowing if Marshawn Lattimore was going to be able to play because of his offseason arrest up in Ohio. But he had a magnificent season as well. There was so much to be optimistic about, but you left it out of your control. After the Saints lost to the Giants in Week 4, remember at that point, they'd beaten Green Bay. They lost to Carolina. They beat New England, so they're 2-1. You're really optimistic. And they blew an 11-point lead at home to the Giants with 8 minutes to go. They're up 11 with 8 minutes to go. They were up 2 scores with 8 minutes to go at home. First game in the Dome after Ida and everything, all the emotion. and you let Daniel Jones rally to beat you. And I sat in this chair on that Monday and I said this. This was an inexcusable loss. And it's one of those losses that when you look back when the season's over, because I don't think this is a Saints team that's going to finish the regular season 13-4. I think this is going to be a team that at the end of the regular season is going to be fighting for a playoff spot. And this could be the one, if you're sitting there at 9-8 and you go, that's the one that kept us out. And here they are at 9-8, looking at the one that kept them out. And that's it. You can point to the first game against Atlanta at home, and they blew that one. But remember, that was a game they trailed the entire game, and they had to rally late to get a lead. And then you gave up the big play. We can talk about Tennessee, where you missed 2 PATs in the game. You lost by 2, and that's absolutely valid, but that's also not a game where you were leading throughout. The one against the Giants is the one where you point to and you say that was a bad football team. That was a team, by the way, that was in the running quarterback sneaks on multiple plays yesterday to avoid having to run a play deep in its own territory. That team is the one you let rally to beat you in your building with 8 minutes to go down 2 scores. And that's ultimately the one that kept you out of the playoffs. So, and listen, I know there's been a lot of this today. Well, why would you even want to be in the playoffs? Team wasn't going anywhere. I'm going to stop you right there because this is the NFL. And if anything, after Sunday in the NFL, where the Colts, all they needed to do was win and they're in, and they lose to Jacksonville. The Rams, up 17-0, blow it at home to their division rival who had beaten them 5 straight times. Instead of being the 2 seed winning their division, look at what happens to them. Look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Look at the improbable result on Sunday Night Football with the Chargers and the Raiders that goes to overtime. Y'all, it's the NFL. This Saints team beat the Bucs 9-0 on their home field. Since the implementation of the wild card, we've seen 11 wild card teams make the Super Bowl and 7 of them win it, including the Bucs last year. Don't tell me you didn't want to be in. I always want to be in. Because if you're in, you got a shot. We watched the 9-7 New York Giants beat the 18-0 New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. Don't tell me you have no shot of winning a game or making a run. It's the NFL. You always have a shot. But the Saints now have an extended offseason to figure out some pretty big decisions that they're going to have to make. Because there are some big roster decisions they're going to have to make. What do you do at quarterback? Is Jameis Winston back? Do you make a play at Russell Wilson? Do you test the draft? They're certainly going to have to look at that. Teron Armstead, your franchise left tackle, who has been magnificent when healthy. The problem is he's not always been healthy. He's a free agent. What do you do there? Marcus Williams played this season on the franchise tag. Do you tag him again? Do you sign him to a long-term deal? Do you let him walk? A lot of questions that this team is going to have to answer here in this offseason if they're going to try to get back into contending for Super Bowls again. But mostly it's going to be get a lot of these guys healthy, stabilize that roster, and figure out what you're going to do under center. It was a conflicting day where you beat your rival, you did what you had to do, but you didn't get the help you need, and ultimately your season ended prematurely when you know this was a team with a roster good enough when right to be a playoff team and to be a contender in the NFC, but they just came up short. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.